currently almost 7:40, and this is the extent of my packing. And I leave in, well, less than 12 hours. I'm not doing the math. I don't have time for math. A mere, I don't even know how much later, we have a mostly packed suitcase. And an also packed additional suitcase because I wanted to bring a lot of goodies to give away. You may have noticed that I have quite a few journals, and I just feel like they would be better with somebody else. Like, I love them, but somebody else could love them and actually use them in a more timely manner than I could. So, giving them away. For now, though, it's time to go to sleep because I have to get up so early for my flight. Good night. Good morning. I don't miss this. I don't miss waking up this early because I used to have to wake up this early every time we went to Melbourne. It's too early to function. Oh my gosh. But bags are packed, getting things in the car, and heading off. We have made it to Sydney and had some good time just hanging out in the lounge, chilling out, reading my book kind of a thing. I do love the business lounges, and I don't know how I'm going to go back to a regular economy ticket. Ah, dear. This was a terrible idea, but hey, it's one I've made. For now, though, we're headed off to the departure gate because we're ready to board the next flight, the longest one, and I found that my first flight, given the extra room with the seat and also just like a longer seatbelt, it was a way more comfortable flight. So I'm hoping for a similar thing for the second one. One flight down, only 2 more to go. Well, this is going to be my home for the next 14 and a half hours, but it is pretty cozy, but not as cozy as my previous flights have been, where it was very, very cozy and very, very snug. We have our cute little amenities bag. We have a little breakfast menu, which I thought was kind of fancy. I'm maybe just like a little breakfasted out. Whatever. I've had a lot of breakfast today because obviously I had some before my flight and then on my flight and then after my flight, so yeah. But I do love breakfast. It is my favorite meal of the day, so I'm not really that fussed. They gave us cute little Qantas pajamas, which I very much doubt will fit, but I wouldn't say no to them because it's all part of the experience. Otherwise, though, I'm just really impressed by how much foot space I have here. I'm just like, why don't we just average that out across the entire of the plane and then everybody gets a little bit more room? But no, that is not the point of business class. I know this isn't going to be an every time I fly thing, and that's why I'm making the most of it now. They even gave us a little glass of bubbles when we sat down. It's very fancy, and we actually get like proper glassware, which feels dangerous. I mean, like, how does that go with turbulence? But so far, there have been no issues. I just need to figure out how to get data on my phone to work, though, because I thought it would be the kind of thing, oh yeah, I'll just do it when I get to Dallas. But we land 1 hour after the Archer and Olive release, and I must get my notebook. I know I don't need more notebooks, but it's so pretty, and I really want it. I'm just going to put the good vibes out into the universe that it'll all be fine. Fingers crossed. But for now, time to prepare for takeoff. Well, we have officially made it to Dallas-Fort Worth, and it is warm, so I am lightly dying. The queues were long, and definitely not helped by the fact that there seemed to be only like one person open checking people through border security or customs or whatever it is. Honestly, I forget which ones are which, but we've gotten through all of the queues, gotten all the bags checked, got the bags dropped off and on their way to Indianapolis. My flight isn't until like 4:10 though, and it's currently, it says 5:11, but that's wrong. That's not the correct time. I think it's something like 11 past 11 in the morning or something. I checked, it's 11 past 12. So not as long left to go as I thought, which is kind of nice. Only one more flight. Oh my gosh, I'm very much looking forward to getting to the hotel and just being there and being in my space. Not so much looking forward to the fact that because of how bookings turned out, I don't end up in like the same room for the whole trip. That first night is in a different room. So I'm kind of hoping that when I get there, I can just be like, hey, can you like put me in the same room that I need to be in tomorrow so I don't have to move, please? I don't think it'll happen, but we'll see. For now though, I'm not like hungry, but I feel like I should just go get something to eat because it's technically lunchtime. Maybe just a drink because I'm parched. But otherwise, I just need to go find a cozy spot to read my book. So I did end up finding my departure lounge, and then I was like, oh, you know, there's not really any good food around this terminal in particular, so let's just take the Sky train or whatever, Skylink, back to a different terminal to get food elsewhere. I ended up getting Chick-fil-A, mainly because I can't get it in New Zealand, so I might as well enjoy it while I'm here. I will say though that the Skylink terminal exchange thing is a little bit confusing because it's not like A, B, C, D, like in order. It's C, A, B, D, E, depending on which direction you're going, because if you're going the other way, then it's like C, E, D, B, A. It's an interesting system. Like when you look at it on the map, it kind of makes sense as to how they labeled them or like assign the letters, essentially. But when you can link them together with a little train, doesn't make quite as much sense. I will say that the temperature control across the different areas in the various terminals is not necessarily consistent. Some spots I'm like, this is beautifully cool, like this is very pleasant. And then in other ones I'm like, oh my god, this is sweltering, I'm dying. But I'm feeling fed now. I wasn't necessarily like hungry, but it is technically lunchtime, like by the time that I managed to get over to the other terminal, walking around aimlessly, trying to figure out what I wanted to eat. It was effectively time for food. And now it's time to go to my departure gate, but they moved it. So I had to get back on the Skylink thing and go to a different terminal. So I'm currently in Terminal C. Hopefully they don't move it again because I really just want to go plonk myself down, read my book, get on my flight, continue to read my book, and then get to the hotel. That's my plan at least. After a small mission to find my Uber, we made it to the hotel. I am now all checked in and I'm probably ready for some dinner. I was kind of thinking we were going to have food on the last flight because I was thinking the last flight was a lot longer than it actually ended up being. So no harm, no foul. They have a restaurant in the hotel. I'm just going to go down there. My room is really cute though. There's 2 beds, so there's one for me and one for my cases. I will end up unpacking them at some point, but right now I just kind of want to go downstairs, have a drink, have some food, and then come back, unpack, and get into bed and sleep because I don't think the camera does it great justice, but my eyes are looking a little bloodshot. Not very pleasant. Oh well. We of course got the obligatory room key card, which is so cute. That one's gonna go in my stash of the previous ones that I have. But for now, let us be wending. After admiring the view from the 19th floor, it was just time to head down to the eatery that's in the hotel. I figured that was nice and easy. And then I had pretty much the exact same thing that I had for lunch. Just this time, I also got to read my book. I've done pretty well in terms of reading so far on this trip. I managed to finish 3 books during my flights. Like one of those I'd already started, so like, does it count? But the other 2 I hadn't, so that's pretty good. And then I've almost finished another one, though that one I had also started before the trip. But then once I was wrapped up with eating, it was just time to come back up to the room, unpack everything, make myself at home. Also just make a little bit of a mess because there was a giant rip in the bag that I was transporting my tapes in, but it's fine. At least they all got here. Tomorrow is going to be the planner fair and registration, which I'm very excited for, but I know I need to get some decent sleep before that, so I'm gonna say Good night. Good morning. After what could best be described as a rocky sleep, we are awake. We have had some breakfast. I am so glad I got those breakfast items yesterday because it just made this morning feel a lot smoother. I've only eaten half of them, so I can eat the other half tomorrow, and then I'll probably need to go and source some more for the remaining days. But just having something that's like already in the room to eat means that I don't have to go out and feel like a put together person before I've had a chance to wake up. My hair has decided that it's doing a thing today, so that's a little frustrating, but it's fine. It is what it is. But today is registration and plan a fair, and I didn't realize that speakers go and register somewhere else, so I need to go and find where that's going to be. Thankfully, they've given us a map, so it shouldn't be too hard. We also have people getting in today though, so I get to see my people, which I'm very excited about, but I just need to figure out what I want to take out with me for the day, because I don't really want to be toting around a whole bunch of stuff, but I do at least need a bag. I don't know if I showed you, but I ended up deciding to take some journals along for table mate gifts as well. It's going to be fun trying to transport those downstairs, but that is also a future me problem. For now though, we're feeling ready for the day, so best be off. Checking out the competition. Hey. These are our people who came to say hi. Hi. Mark finally made it, so we're at our meet and greet now, which is really exciting, and people actually showed up, which is the more exciting part, because I was seriously worried we were just going to stand here awkwardly by ourselves for half an hour and not talk to anybody. People came to say hi. Well, we've gotten off to an excellent start so far. I'm currently just like decompressing a little bit in my room, in desperate need of a drink though, because I am parched. Our meet and greet went really well. I was very much worried that nobody was going to show up and I was just going to be standing there really awkwardly by myself because Mark ended up arriving like 15 minutes late to it. But it was really cool to see the people who came by and chat with them and talk about like what kind of planner they use and all of those kind of things. I also got to go backstage and look at what the volunteers were doing in the table setup. Mark and I are going to go do some behind the scenes interviews with them to find out what it's like being a volunteer. But it's just been really cool to see the people that I only really get to interact with online because I don't live near any of them. So having this one spot where we can all kind of like come together and meet up and hang out, and it's just a lot of fun. I ended up going out for lunch with the Archer and Olive crew, and all of them are friends, so it was nice to hang out with them too. And all in all, it's just been a very positive, day 1. Not that it's technically day 1, like this is technically day 0, and it's not over, so there's more to come. Found my partner in crime, yeah!
Hey, what's going on, Planner Pals? We're behind the scenes here at Go Wild, and we're gonna be asking some of the volunteers a few questions, so let's have some fun. Can I interrupt your IKEA building real quick?
Yeah, sure, what's up?
All right, so we're Mark and Jess from the Planner Pals podcast, and we're doing behind the scenes with the volunteers, and we just want to ask 3 questions.
Eric is trying to get us killed. Mark and I ended up going and doing some behind the scenes interviews with the volunteers, seeing what they were up to, and it was really cool to get to see the process of them like bagging everything up and how they put the tables together and stuff, and like the real kind of like camaraderie and team effort that went into it. It was very awesome. And then after that we all went out for dinner just to a place down the road. I think it was called Connor's or something like that. I ended up getting these like crab sweet corn ball things. They kind of like, it was similar to an arancini but with no rice. It was actually quite tasty, even though they had jalapenos in it, and I was kind of worried it was going to be spicy. By the time we wrapped up there though, the welcome party was well and truly started, so we hustled over there as quickly as we could. They did have karaoke this year. None of us got up to do any singing, mainly because I didn't know how to request a song. I do love karaoke though, don't get me wrong. Karaoke is my jam. Just didn't work out this time around for us. But we chatted with people, we took photos of the photo booth, they were quite entertaining. And then after that just went downstairs and hung out in the downstairs bar area. Had a couple more drinks. Mine was mainly water because I was just like super parched. I've been so thirsty. Probably because I'm not drinking enough water, but anyway. And now it's after midnight because we were just hanging out, having bands, having a good laugh, and we need to get up in the morning. That's gonna be the worst. This is the part about Go Wild that I always dread, is getting up as early as we have to, because you want to, you know, be there when it starts, be in the room where it happens and all of that. So in order to do that, I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night. Good morning. It is way too early and I'd rather be asleep at night. We're gonna have a good day. It's gonna be a good time. I just don't like early mornings. We know this. And that is what happens when we go Wild. For conference day 1, we get up at like 6 a.m. so that we can get in line and get a table and all of that kind of stuff. I'm looking forward to the speakers for day 1. I honestly can't remember who's in the lineup, either for today or tomorrow, outside of the fact that I'm tomorrow. That's probably why I can't remember, because I'm just like, I gotta know where I need to be. I gotta make sure I'm there on time and all of that kind of stuff. Thankfully, that is tomorrow's problem. I certainly hope that I get more sleep tonight before tomorrow than I did yesterday before today. But anywho, need to collect my things for the day, get everything together, and then head downstairs to meet up with the crew. Yeah, so my last name now has an O in it, but it's fine.
Yeah.
So cute.
We're sneaking to take a look at the journals that we're using for our thing tomorrow, and like productively journaling with the Planner Pals. That's us.
So cute.
That's us.
That's us. Despite still feeling like I woke up way too early and not quite being awake just yet, the morning sessions were really good. It was really cool to be able to jump backstage and chat with people as they came off from presenting. We were toying around with the idea of like, okay, do we do them before they present or after? And I was thinking like, if somebody tried to talk to me before I present and they want to like, ask me questions and stuff, I'm going to be so not receptive. So it was nice that we did them after the fact, I think, when people are kind of like coming down off all the adrenaline and being like, endorphins make people happy. Happy people just don't shoot their husbands. Not that anybody said that, but still. Now though, we've gone back to our rooms just to put things away and such, and we're going to go out for lunch. Mark and I need to run through our presentation so that we know what's going on, because I'm just like, I don't even remember my talking points at this point, and I'm going to get up on stage and just be like, oh, I don't want that to happen. But finding somewhere to eat, having lunch, and then we won't be back in the main conference area until 7 p.m. where we're going to have the wild crop, which I'm very much looking forward to. The table that I ended up sitting at was the sticker party, mainly because they had these really cute pencil bags, and I'm a sucker for a pencil bag, so I'm like, I must sit there, I want that bag. But no, it was a really nice stash of items, and we had really cool table mates who also gave us some goodies and such, just like, saying thank you for sitting with us and whatever else. It was just a really nice time. So I'm looking forward to getting some food in me, and then the crop tonight.
It's bothering me so much.
When you put your 3 tallest friends in the back of the van. Ta-da! Oh, he's so cute. Oh, I like jelly plates.
Oh, yes. I was close.
We ended up going downtown to eat at a place called the Tap House, I think. I got a super filling sandwich. Realistically, I only needed like half a sandwich and some chips, but I don't think they sell them in half sandwich amounts, so that's that. We then went a couple doors up and played around at 16-bit, which is effectively like a game-themed bar, like an arcade game-themed bar. That was a lot of fun. I don't think Mark very much enjoyed when we started to change the rules of one of the games, which was called Hooky or something, which is effectively you throw like little hoops at a board that has pegs and it gives you different amounts of points. I did manage to beat him at every single game of Connect 4 that we played though, so I at least felt good about that because I was not good at hooky. After hanging out there though, we came back to the hotel. Mark and I slinked off to do some practice for our session tomorrow and just kind of write up some notes because he came prepared and like had notes written. I was just gonna go and do everything off my memory, which is not trustworthy because as soon as I get up there, I'm going to be stressed as heck. So having some notes to work with is going to be very, very helpful. And then we totally lost track of time and almost ended up being late for the crop. The crop was a lot of fun though. It was all very bookish themed. So we had a session where we talked about book annotations and like how to kind of use annotation to deepen your experience of a book, which was really awesome. It's something I'm interested in. It's just I don't read a lot of physical copy books, so it's not something I probably am gonna do anytime soon, but I am still interested in it. And then we also had a session about book journaling and such. And as someone who already has a book journal, I'm like, I don't necessarily need these ideas, but for people who are getting into that kind of space, I think that that was really helpful. Of course, got to speak to them behind the scenes and such, and that was a lot of fun. And then we went downstairs to have some dinner and pretty much wrapped that up, and I came back here. So now I'm just like trying to encourage myself to get to bed because I want to have more sleep before our session tomorrow. I am going to be a much more pleasant person to be around if I am well rested, or at least better rested than I was for this morning. So for that, good night. Good morning. The sun is shining. The city is waking up, as am I, after another not so great sleep, but slightly more in terms of hours, so like that's a plus. We have our presentation today. I am definitely nervous, but I'm not letting it get to me. In theory. I've already second-guessed every single choice I've made this morning. I'm trying to eat some breakfast so I have something in my stomach. But quite soon I need to lug down all of my table-mate gifts, which are definitely heavy. That was on me for deciding to also include journals in there, but I think that they will like it. I hope that they will like it at least. I hope that they get use out of it. My mind can't even focus on doing anything outside of the presentation, so I hope I can at least enjoy the first speaker without sitting there being like, I'm nervous, I'm nervous, I'm nervous. We'll have to wait and see. We're behind the stage, and by that I mean backstage, and I'm confused already. I've lost all of my best words, and I really hope they have water for me because I'm gonna die. But it's gonna be a good time. And Mark's here. Here he is. Hey! There's a stick up my back. The microphone stick's poking up my bra strap. It's very unpleasant, but mic'd up. Oh yeah. So I just wore my classic black because I didn't want to show up as anybody but me.
I got out all of my nerves, so I'm 100% ready today for this.
I am definitely not. We were just talking about how I essentially cried my way out of any university presentation I had to do. Like, they're like, this is a compulsory part of your grade. I'm like, please don't make me go out there. So it's really nice that I have my emotional support buddy here to help me out with this. For the scaffold, so I'm kind of a plan. I know that I'm going to be able to get through things much quicker, much more seamlessly, and a lot more cool, calm, and collected. Or you can get those really nice little nifty ones that you put on your desk and they like go when the time's over and like scare confused out of you because you were like really focused on what you were doing. But all of those would be really, really helpful. I know you've talked about brain dump before and you're like, pretty onto the idea of using it.
I love it.
Once you've got the stuff out of your head though, what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, so that's the important part. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use this information, and even as Jess and I were talking about this, she was like, yeah, nah, I don't do that. And I was like, cool, but I do, and it helps me. So Ivy Lee method, has anyone tried this before? Good, no one knows about it, so I'm giving you good content. This content.
So I'm going to share with you this really awesome idea. So what you're going to do, and again, please write inside of these journals, please use them.
If you're worried about it, just go to the back. It's gonna be, whether it's 6 or whether it's 3, because like if you give me too many choices then, but I like to use something called the Eisenhower matrix. Have we heard of it? Excellent, at least 3 people, I'm good for it. Get in shape. I'm already in shape, it's just not maybe the one I want.
Stuff works out for you. The other part is just better time awareness. So I talked about thinking about...
Instead, what I prefer to use is the Alistair method. Have we heard of the Alistair method? Yes, excellent, I'll take it. 1, 2-ish.
You guys are gonna leave with so much information. It's fantastic, it makes me so happy.
I hope so, because that's like kind of the point, all right? I always want to help in that way, but...
We get so much value out of what you bring to the conversations. It means the world to us. So thank you all so much, and have a fantastic rest of the day.
Thank you, Mark and Jess.
I did it. I'm overheated, but I did it. and I didn't cry, not even once. So Mark, how did you feel about... You gotta get all the way down here. He's got this really low table, so he's like crouched all the way down. You look great though.
Thanks.
How was your session?
I think the session went great. I was nervous going on, but then Jess cracked a joke, and I felt like everything was okay.
Exactly.
I knew that we could just be ourselves. I said some things that just rolled off the tongue that anyone who watches the podcast knows happens often.
Yeah, he gets up there and calls the pen juicy. I'm like, that sounds fucking feral.
It's black, juicy, and wet, and we really enjoyed using those pens. It actually was great.
They actually were quite nice pens.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
And it was amazing to like do that because it's content that we always talk about, and it was amazing that barely anyone knew what we were talking about.
Yeah. I think that was the best part because like you go into these things thinking it's like, oh, everybody knows this, nobody's gonna get anything out of this session. You were so awkward. Here, how about we just pick it up?
God, that feels better.
He's literally crouched down so low. I'll stand all the way back here, so I look like almost the same height as you now. It's okay, you can run in.
It's like the podcast. Did we switch sides? Are you upset that we switched our normal sides?
We always feel really bad when you get upset that we switched sides on the thumbnail and or in the footage. But no, I thought it was nice that a lot of people just didn't know this stuff, and that meant that like it was new information. It was actually kind of helpful, which was cool. So that felt good.
It was amazing.
Never doing that again.
No, we're doing it every year.
Oh no. So close to the end of your book. I was trying to finish it before I got here. But the best part is that like my partner, he did a biochemistry degree, and now he's in patent examining, or like patents.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about the Johnson & Johnson stuff, I'm just like, that's what he comes home and bitches about all the time.
Yeah, you know all about that.
Exactly. I'm like, I've heard this story before. No, it's been really good, and I'm really enjoying it.
Thank you.
So for anybody who didn't get to come and see your presentation, what would have been the number one takeaway you would have wanted them to get out of it?
I think the biggest takeaway was how important it is to find communities like this one and connect with the other people in online spaces, in real life spaces, in hybrid online real life spaces, because that is where what Kurt Vonnegut called the terrible disease of loneliness can actually be cured.
And I liked your points about the idea of like your community, like the nerd fighters and stuff, and how we had some of them here in the crowd as well.
Yeah, it was great to see some nerd fighters here. It doesn't surprise me that there's some crossover between this community and Nerdfighteria.
Yeah, no, I think that there's also some in like our like Planner Pals kind of community as well. And when they heard that you were going to meet here, they're like, oh my god, I need to get tickets to go wild, but I've like never been before and such. So it was really cool to hear you kind of like give them a shout out while you were here. In terms of building community in your life, what's kind of like the number one value that you see in that for yourself?
I try to find people who love the same things that I love, whether that's, in my life, caring a lot about tuberculosis and the people who are fighting TB, or caring about the stupid fourth-tier soccer team I support. When you find people whose love is oriented in the same direction as yours, that's when you found your people.
Yeah, and I very much valued your point about the fact that it's like we don't all have to be on the same page, but it's like you're looking for like-spirited people, not like-minded people in that kind of way.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way of putting it.
Hi Mark, how has been your backstaging?
My backstaging's been amazing. It's one of those things where like last year I was back here just to present for the crowd, but now it just feels like a little family back here too, so it's so cool to see that. It's so cool to see everybody coming off the stage where you don't feel like you you're nervous, but you know everybody's in the same boat. But I think everyone has that same feeling. Like you go out there, you see everyone smiling at you, and you know, you get to meet this community. It's been pretty awesome. So it's been great.
I agree, and I think that support that you get coming like on and off the stage and such, that was really helpful because I was scared.
No, you did amazing. I'm glad that you did this with me as well, because it truly was like, I was going on there thinking to myself, like, oh, let's be professional. And we were professional, but we were like Planner Pals podcast professional, even though we do go off the rails sometimes. But it was one of those things where you don't quite know. And then it was just like all of a sudden it literally felt, it was so cool to feel like we were recording our podcast, but we were actually physically there next to each other. And also the fact that you and I, when we have our own channels and we're like trying to talk and do the thing at the same time, and there's all that like weird quietness, there was none of that because we were doing this. And so like true partnership as always, as we like always make it work. So it's super fun.
Oh yes, tiny fist bump.
Mouse mic.
Did my presentation, and it's this like weird combination of being glad that it's over because and sad that it's over because it's like such a high. I know I was talking to Mark, and when we came off stage and kind of like got back to our seats and stuff, and he's just like it's such a calm down because you were like running on all of this like adrenaline and endorphins and all of that kind of stuff. I don't know which of the chemicals in the brain, and then you kind of just sit down and you're like, whew. It was really great to get to see John Green speak though. That was really awesome to hear, especially because like I'm reading his book in preparation for being here. I'm not quite finished with it. I'm very close though. And then getting to interview him backstage, just like, you know, teeny tiny interview, 2 questions type thing. But it was a really special moment, at least for me. Like, I don't know if he'll remember me, but it's fine. For now though, everybody's just stashing their stuff back in their rooms. I got a lot of TableMate swag that I need to go through. They were very generous, which was really, really kind of them. And I hope they like the gifts I gave them too, because, you know, I want people to use the things that I'm giving them. In terms of food though, no idea where we're going for lunch, but I am famished. I had the rest of my little yogurt pottle and some fruit this morning, which was like pretty good. But then because we were doing interviews during the break time, it meant that I didn't really get a lot of the energy break snackage. So having something to eat is high on my priorities list. Yes, your new man. Yes. You look good together. All the way up, please, man. Oh my god, don't fall off. I'm so worried about your butt. And this is Back in the room now. I am exhausted. My feet are killing me, and we just had a whole bunch of siren vehicles outside, so I don't know what's going on. I don't expect it's going to be anything too bad, I hope. Ugh. I mean, siren vehicles usually mean something's not right, but anyway. I am zonked, but we do have Planjama coming up in not really all that long. It's currently 6:24. I've been sitting here for at least 20 minutes just scrolling through reels on my phone and procrastinating putting my Planjama outfit on. My pajamas. I need to have a drink before I go downstairs. I'm very thirsty. It's been a really good day though. We went and got sushi. It was delicious. We went and got ice cream. It was massive and also delicious. And then went on our little mission to try and find people to interview. We found one of the people we were trying to find, which was Mo from Pipsticks. And I found Jasmine, but she was getting ready for the final kind of proceedings. Planjama. So we're going to meet up with her at 1:45, which means I only have about 15 minutes before I have to leave. So I should probably get my butt into gear and get ready. a very good time at the, like, effectively after party of Planjama. We're just kind of hanging down in the lobby area where there is a bar. They have stopped serving us drinks, probably for the best, but I've still got a glass of water and I'm just having a really good time with my friends. I think that's the hardest part about Go Wild, is like knowing that in the morning when I wake up, my friends have to go back to where they came from. And this is really the only time in the year that I get to see them. That's always the sad part. Like, I get to spend the weekend with them, I get to just like hang out and just like bask in their awesomeness, and then they go home. And I don't get to see them again for another year. It's a bummer. Hopefully I get to go next year, but for now I'm just going to enjoy their company. We're back in the hotel room now, pretty much ready for sleep because it is, I don't even know what time because I've already taken my watch off. That's how ready for bed I am. I know for a fact it's past 2 a.m. and I definitely want to go to sleep, but right now I'm kind of chugging my water just to make sure that I don't wake up with any kind of hangover. I've had some Nurofen or like ibuprofen. I've had some water. I have a little bit more that I'd like to drink before I go to sleep. I also had a call with Vogel just to check in and see how he's doing, say hi, which was really pleasant. And I'm just, to be honest, I'm sad. Like, I'm sad because I know that when I wake up in the morning, it means that my friends will already be gone. They're going to be on the way to the airport, on the way to settling in and waiting for their flights to go back to where they come from, whether that's the UK or Canada or Ohio or like wherever else. And it makes me sad because I know I'm not going to be able to see them again for quite a while. But that's also kind of what makes Go Wild so special, because this is the opportunity that I have to see them. I'm excited for the next time I get to see them, but I'm sad that it's going to be such a while. For now, though, I'm going to go chug my water and go to sleep. So, good night. Good morning. Deciding to leave the blackout curtains open when I went to bed last night was a choice because I woke up to a face full of sun and I'm like, I feel like I'm sunburnt now. Okay, it's probably not actually what happened, but I feel like I'm sunburnt. I did end up getting up and closing them because I wanted just a little bit more rest, because today we're going over to the garage, which I think is like a food court type place, to meet up with other members of the JashiiCorrin community, whether they could come to Go Wild or otherwise. It's always really exciting to get to meet people that you interact with online, like in person. For reals, not for fakes. Especially because a lot of the people that I interact with online live quite far away from me. So this is always kind of just like a special opportunity to get to see them, be in the same space with them. Before we do that though, I do need to get myself ready for the day, collect up my things. I'm going to be taking a few goodies so that then people can have them. You know, for instance, the rest of my washi D stash and also some journals and such. So hopefully it should be a good time. This bag ended up with a major blowout, so that one isn't going to work. Thankfully, I had a canvas bag from Go Wild, so I'm gonna use that one instead. Well, we've just finished up the meetup and it was just so nice to meet everybody who came out. We had one person who came all the way from Utah. Like, they get free flights, and which is also really cool, but they got a flight from Utah to here just to hang out for the afternoon, and then they're flying home in like what, a couple of hours. I think their flight leaves at 7 or something. But it's just so nice to meet people, and it felt really good being able to, like, you know, give them like washi tapes and stuff, and being able to give them journals and whatever, and just like have a chill time with people that are in our community. So if and or when we have our next meetup, make sure that you come out if you can, because we would love to see you there. For now though, I am waiting for my Uber so I can go back to the hotel, and then I might just kind of have a look through my swag and such, decide on what's going to be coming with me, what maybe needs to find a new home before I leave, and then go and find some dinner. My bed full of swag. Now I just need to figure out which pieces I want to keep and which ones I need to find a new home for. Some of the pieces are from the sponsored tables, whereas some of them are like table mate gifts, or they might have been like swag drops or things like that. And we also have little contact card kind of bundles that people put together, which also had goodies in them. One of the things that I know I usually can't take are food related items, so those I'll probably put into a separate space and then look at the rest of the kind of stationery and crafty bits. And while it would be nice to take everything with me, I know that 1, I'm not going to use all of this stuff, and 2, I would not necessarily like to overpack my suitcases and then have to have extra charges at the airport. Plus, if I can give it to somebody who's going to get more use out of it and enjoy it more, I'd rather do that. Also good to note that some of these bags are still full because I didn't want all the items to get muddled up. This one is my bag from Mark, so it has our table mate gifties from him. And then this bag is from Natasha, which wasn't a table mate gift, it was just like a straight gift. She's so sweet. This one was also a table mate gift from Kendra, but I think the most of everything else I kind of unpackaged so that I could show it off, because I like having the bed full of all of the fun bits. It feels fun. For now though, I kind of just want to go get some food. I'm hungry. For dinner, I just ended up going downstairs to the hotel's eatery and having the same thing that I have every time I go down to the hotel eatery. It's easy. I know I like it. So at least that means that dinner wasn't too much of a stress. Now though, I need to tackle this bed and get all of the things that I want to keep into the case and all of that kind of stuff. The first pass through is really just going to be stuff that I know I'm not going to be taking with me, just because I know I won't be using it, or it's something that I can't really take with me. And then I get to consider everything that's left over and whether it's going to come along. I hope this process doesn't take too long, because I would just like to lie in bed and watch Netflix or something. A lot of the items I took out of their bags and then put back into separate bags and all of this kind of thing, just to keep stuff together, because there are a lot of little bits and pieces that I know I won't use or I won't eat. A lot of them are food related, but I still wanted to keep them contained. So for instance, a lot of the table mate bags, I kind of took the stuff out of those and then put in snacks and other little pieces of stickers or papers or stuff like that to kind of make little bundles, I guess. So this is where I've gotten to, my bits and pieces that I'm going to be taking with me, definitely. I think that they'll fit in the case, so I should be just fine. And then for the bits and pieces that I'm not going to be taking with me, those are in here. Now I just need to find somebody to take them. One foodie bit I decided to keep though was the coffee crisp, because I'm going to have that now. I posted a picture in the Facebook group and it seems some people are downstairs outside of Starbucks, so hopefully I can declutter some of these to them. People outside of Starbucks nice and easy. They were doing some diamond paintings, which were really cute. And then they took essentially the entire thing off my hands. They had some pieces that they're like, yes, we definitely want those. But they also just said they'd take anything that was left and they're going to sort it out for me, which I just really appreciate, especially because they're leaving before I am. Their flight is at 7 o'clock in the morning, I think. Ugh. Mine isn't until 5 p.m. tomorrow, so I'm gonna have a really great time sitting in the airport doing nothing. I'm charging my iPad so that I can have something to read. In terms of my swag though, I have managed to condense it so there's not really all that many pieces, to the extent where I am interested to see how the spacing in my case goes in terms of packing this stuff, because I feel like it's not gonna take up that much space. We'll have to wait and see. This is where I've gotten to so far, so this side is just pretty much swag related stuff, gifts, and also my underwear and socks. Well, the ones that, are left over, because everything that I wore is in here. Whenever I'm traveling, I do try to keep all of my dirty laundry in one section, mainly so as soon as I get home, I can just take that entire section and chuck it straight into the wash. This guy is notably the smaller suitcase because all the way over here is the larger one. And I'm actually kind of worried that not that I won't have enough stuff to put in it, but I just don't want things moving around and then possibly getting broken in transit. It's gonna have this piece of swag, it's gonna have my charger cable bag, this guy, well, maybe not him, but at least these two. My pillow, my shoes, not including that pair, and I think that might be it. I think it should be alright. I'm hoping so. Well, it's looking pretty good. We've got a couple bits and pieces over here, and then the pillow will go in that kind of bottom section. And then on this side, that is going to be the hole for my toiletries, because I totally forgot that I had those. And I think that there's not going to be too much room in between everything, so it should be okay. I've put these bits and pieces over here so that I don't forget them, hopefully, because they'll be pretty obvious. And I want to make sure that I have my sunglasses in there, nice and safe. And I've got all my clothes out for tomorrow, like here, and here, and here. And I suppose there as well. And a piece of confetti. The toiletries are in the bathroom, as they should be. So I'm gonna pack all of those up tomorrow after I finish getting ready. For now though, it's time to turn all of the lights off and get into bed because I do want to get a fairly decent night's sleep. I don't know what time I'm gonna wake up just yet. I'm gonna try and check out as late as possible probably, and then go downstairs to the restaurant and have breakfast and such, because my flight isn't until like 5 o'clock. So I just don't want to get to the airport too early. It'll be fine, I have my book to read, but anyway, for now, time for bed. Good night. Haha, jokes, I got distracted by reels, and now it's 12:15, so now it's time to go to sleep. Good night. Good morning. Morning. I don't want to get up. I need to though, because I need to have a shower and finish packing and actually check out of the hotel and stuff. I'm just like feeling a little bit discombobulated. It's very hard to get the words out right now. So get up, shower, put the things in the bag, check the time, because I'm like, if I don't have to check out right away, that'd be nice. But I'm kind of thinking that like the longer I stay in bed, the more likely it is I'm just gonna have to take my suitcases downstairs with me and then have breakfast probably here. I don't know what time they stopped serving breakfast because I forgot to check that yesterday. Smart. I'm feeling a little bit congested today. I hope that passes because I do not want to be sick. I was sick last year and it was awful, and I don't want to be traveling sick, and I don't want to get home and be sick. I don't want any of it. This sleep was the longest sleep I feel like I've had since being on this trip though. The body does appreciate, especially before such a long period of travel. But I said, need to get up, need to get going. The bags are all packed up and ready to roll out. There are definitely some gaps in the cases, and I'm hoping that things don't move around too much because I just don't want things to get broken. It should be okay, but let's just put the good vibes out into the universe. For now though, it's time to go get some breakfast, which is good, because I'm peckish. Oh no, I can't forget my baby cola. It's okay, my child, you're coming with me. So as it turns out, the breakfast place closed at like 10:30 and I got down at 10:35. So sad peckish me just went and found some people to hang out with, just do some bantering before I had to get the Uber to the airport, get checked in, which also seemed to be a little bit of a fuff, but it's cool, we got it done. And then actually managed to find some friends at the airport who were from Go Wild as well, so I hung out with them for a bit. It's nice to have had somebody to talk to, because otherwise I was just like gonna sit here by myself for a really long time. I'm hoping that all the flights go well and that just it goes as smoothly as possible, and that I can kind of sleep on the flights. That would be really nice, because when I get home, it's going to be like 7:30 in the morning, and I want to try and acclimatize to the time change as best as possible. If I fall asleep in the middle of the day, that means that it's going to be really hard to get back into the regular rhythm of things. I have had such a good time though. It has been so much fun, and I'm so sad that it's going to be over soon. We have to go back to like regular life. Like, there are obviously perks with going home. You get to like be in your own bed and with your own stuff again and all of those kind of things, but I miss my friends. Why? Not gonna lie, the part that I was most worried about with this, commute back home was LAX, because I have heard that it's like really big and hard to navigate and kind of scary, but it actually wasn't that bad, or at least it hasn't been so far, and I'm hoping I haven't jinxed anything. Finding where I was going was really well signaged actually, which was helpful because on my ticket I didn't have a terminal printed, but I did manage to find it just through like a Google search of my flight, and then also looked it up on the board, but the board said TBIT, and I'm like, what the heck is TBIT? Because they have two names for this terminal, so that got me a little bit confused, but it's all good. It's very quickly resolved. Managed to find my way here, sitting at my, I don't know, gate, but it's currently 6:59 and the plane isn't leaving until 9:50. So I feel like I should probably go get something to eat, maybe? We did have food on the plane, but it was like, okay, I guess. I think I'm gonna get maybe something else, because I probably just like a little bit hungry, a little bit. My throat is very dry, so I also want to go get a drink. But I'm also getting to a really good part of my book, so I kind of just want to sit here and read that first. So I might do that first. We are on the plane, we are ready to go, in the sense that I'm just getting my stuff in the spots I want it to be so I can be nice and comfy. In terms of takeoff, it's at 9:50, so I'm kind of hoping to like go straight to sleep. We'll see what happens. I'll probably be too like, oh my god, so jazzed to actually be able to do that. So I might do a little bit of reading first. I decided to start a new book. I've started City of Mirth and Malice, which is the second in some series. I don't know what the series is called. It's been a hot minute since I read the first one, so I was very glad that it had like a recap kind of thing. Otherwise, yeah, I probably would have just had to reread the first book, and I didn't really want to do that. I don't know if I'll necessarily finish it on the flight, but I could try. Second flight is almost over now. We're just getting ready to descend into Melbourne, and supposedly we're going to arrive half an hour early, which means like less time on the plane, but more time in the terminal. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. Technically this seat is quite comfortable. This flight, like this long flight, was actually more comfortable than my last long flight, which was kind of nice. I'm literally sitting in like the exact same seat, just on the other side of the plane, so I don't know. I think I preferred having things on my left hand side rather than my right, because if you like see over here, stuff's on my right hand side. I know directions, whereas on the other side, obviously it's on the other side. But I didn't really get any reading done. I think for the last little bit of this flight I'm gonna do some reading, and then probably in the terminal I'll try and do some reading, because I was like, oh yeah, I could probably like get through a good chunk of this book. And then I slept, which is a good thing, because like, you know, I want to have sleep. When I arrive into Wellington, it's going to be like 2 o'clock or something, so it's not really a great time to just go to sleep. I want to kind of try to get myself back on schedule as quick as possible, but for now I'm going to read my book. Got about half an hour of flight, and then back into Melbourne Terminal waiting around. Yeah, no, not quite. We are off on a quest to find my gate. That was probably the quickest I have ever gotten through the like security check thing, because there was literally nobody there, to the extent where they didn't even have the queue operational. There was like a little barricade because there was nobody there. But I mean, I got through very quickly, which I do appreciate. Now I just need to go find a seat for an hour. I thought I had a longer layover here. I'm like glad I don't, but still. And I have definitely walked the wrong direction around, so I'm taking a very long lap. I managed to loop back to the same place I was before, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. Which is sad, because you'd think I'd actually know my way around this place by now, given how many times I visit it, but no, they keep changing things, so I'm very confused. Oh no, I was seriously worried for a second that my second suitcase wasn't gonna make it. Like, you kind of expect them to come through together because they're on the same flight and you put them on the belt together and stuff. I know that's not the case, right? They put them where they fit and then they unpack them however they do. I don't understand the inner workings of that process. But I was standing there, I'm like, no, please don't let it like not come through, because there's no identification on these bags outside of the like paper tags that we stick on them to say that they are mine. Because they're not mine, they're my mother's, and I don't want them going missing. But both of the bags were secured. We got through nice and easy because I didn't have anything to declare. It was effectively like, let the dog sniff your bag and then you can leave. And now I'm just waiting for Vogel to show up. And then we're gonna go get some food. Because like, I'm not actually hungry, but it's like lunchtime-ish. It's like, okay, well, according to my watch, it's 6:44, so that's bullshit. But it's kind of lunchtime for him. He hasn't eaten. We're gonna have a meal together. It'll be nice. Well, we did it. We made it home in one piece. What a good trip. It was just so nice to see my friends, get to hang out with them. Not so nice to be on planes for an excessive amount of time, but at least the planes were more comfortable than last year. And my stuff didn't get lost, and I've got a good amount of swag that I now need to find a home for in my house. But that's a future me problem. For now though, I'm gonna go take a shower and have a nap, so thank you for watching. If you liked today's video, please do make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And here's another video that YouTube thinks you might be interested in. Until next time. Bye for now. I have no idea what that is.
Neither do I.
Yay, thank you kindly, sir. We're still filming, so I'm just gonna film you.
Ah, yes, the part of my house I missed the most. Haha, I am home, my child.